Welcome back, friends, to Build a Lot Acres. In today's video, we're going to discuss the bagging system I have for this Ikon XD52 and why I think bagging your grass is the way to go. So let me start off by saying I have a number of different videos showcasing this Ariens Ikon XD52. I have videos of it doing wet grass, my initial purchase of it, videos of it doing leaves in the fall. I'm going to link all those different videos in the description of this video, and I'll also put two of the videos at the end of this video that you can easily click on and check out if you're interested. But I think there's really two main camps of people. There's going to be people that mulch their grass with mulching blades, and there's going to be people that bag their grass. If you just, mow without mulching blades and you don't bag, you're going to end up with a lot of loose grass on your lawn, and it's going to look crappy, and it's also going to cause you a lot of issues down the road, which we'll discuss a little bit in this video. So there's a lot of proponents for bagging your grass, but there's also some negatives, so let's discuss them. I would say the positives are going to be bagging your grass gives your lawn a much cleaner look, and that gives it that nice finished striped look. You don't have any leftover grass hanging around in your lawn. It just looks more professional, and in my opinion, there's a reason most landscaping companies, at least that I see around here, bag the grass, because the clients want nice bagged grass, clean look, and it just gives you that when you bag it. Another big advantage to bagging your grass is going to be that it keeps the grass off your lawn, preventing thatch from building up as much, and it can also help a lot with allergies and pests, because if you get a layer of thatch in your grass from all the loose grass, if you don't bag it, settling in your lawn, you're eventually going to have to dethatch it, or you're going to end up with your grass possibly dying. You could have healthy grass issues. You could end up with, mold or different things settling in that area. And like I said, you could have bugs, weeds. There's a lot of things that can happen when that thatch is allowed to build up in your grass. And if you bag it, you're much less likely for that to happen. I would say another big advantage to bagging your grass is going to be if you do gardening. Let's say you have a vegetable garden like I do, maybe even flowers. It gives you the ability to add all those grass clippings to your mulch pile, your compost pile, and it gives you the option to create a lot of really good, rich compost to add to your gardens and keep your things growing really good. I think the last advantage that I would talk about is for leaf cleanup in the fall. Depending on where in the world you live or where in the US. Here in Massachusetts and New England, I get a ton of leaves that fall in the fall season. I have a big property, a big lawn, lots of trees. But in the fall, this works really good for leaf cleanup. I suppose you could mulch the leaves, but every time I've seen people mulch leaves, it leaves kind of like a dark, I don't want to say film, but you can tell there's still leaves there. There's smaller pieces of leaves, but they're still on the lawn. And I think, like I said, you could argue either way. Let me know in the comments, do you think mulching your grass is better, or do you think bagging is better? I think there's really two camps, and I think you're going to find a pretty even divide going both ways. But like I said, in the fall, this works really well. I will say, though, if you're going to use this to bag your leaves in the fall, especially if you get a lot of leaves like I do it gradually. Do it once or twice a week throughout the fall. If you're going to try to wait till the end of the fall season and then bag all the leaves all at once, it's not going to work. I think you're going to have poor performance, and you're just going to get frustrated. You're going to clog your tube, and it's just going to get overwhelmed with the amount of leaves. Kind of like if you had a big blizzard with snow. You're not going to go out and plow the end of the blizzard 2 feet all at once. You're going to plow throughout the storm, a couple inches, 2 or 3 inches at a time during the duration of the storm, and keep up with it. It's the same thing with a bagging system. You're going to do the leaves gradually, and that's going to make it a lot easier. So I would do them once or twice a week throughout the fall season, and the leaves will not get ahead of you like they would if you waited till the end. So we discussed some of the positives to having a bagging system. Let's discuss some of the negatives. So I think the first negative is going to be it's going to add a lot of width and length to your zero turn. So you can see right here, this is where the deck ends. So you're adding probably a good foot, maybe even 13 inches of width, as well as probably, I'm going to say, maybe 18 inches of length. So if you have to trailer your machine a lot and you have a smaller trailer, or maybe you have to park your machine in a shed or a garage and you have limited space, The bigger footprint of the machine can make it more difficult to do those things, and it's definitely something to consider when using the bagging system. Another negative is going to be, it is going to add time. Some mosquitoes here. It is going to add time to you doing your lawn. Now for me, it's not a big deal. I'm only doing my lawn. Even though my lawn's good size, it's probably a hair over an acre of grass. You know, it only adds maybe, to empty the bags 2 or 3 times, which is what I typically empty them, probably add maybe 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes total, if that. So, you know, whether it takes me 40 minutes or 48 minutes or an hour and 8 minutes, whatever the difference is, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But I could see it being a big deal if you were doing a business. You know, if you had to empty the bags 100 times, let's say, throughout the course of a day because you're running a landscape business, obviously it's going to add time to the job. Whereas mulching, you're just mulching the grass, it's shooting back onto the grass, and, you know, it's quicker. There's no denying that. But like I said earlier, some people, I think, if you ran a business, are going to want the grass bagged. They're not going to like the look of you shooting and redistributing the grass clippings over the lawn. Another negative I would say is you're not adding any of the nutrients from the grass clippings back onto the lawn like you do when you mulch. Because when you mulch, you're chopping up the grass into really fine particles and you're redistributing it on the lawn, and it's kind of like self-composting the lawn in a way. I actually had a friend one time tell me this, that every time you bag your grass and mow, you take just a slither of loam off your lawn. It was like a 32nd of an inch or something like that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but eventually the point was that you end up sucking up all your loam off your grass and you end up with it in your bagging system. Let me know in the comments if you think that's true or not, but he mulches his grass. He has a couple of bigger 0 turns, more commercial grade, and he doesn't use a bagger at all. I believe he bought some mulching, I don't know if he has Megmo blades or Gator blades, but he bought some special mulching blades. I have to admit, his lawn does look really nice, but he's got a much more expensive setup than I have. And, you know, it's a preference thing, I think, at the end of the day. So I guess the last negative would be the cost. Now, you know, it's going to depend on what mow you have. That's going to dictate how much your bagger costs. But this bagger for this Ariens, I want to say, when I bought this machine a few years ago, it was around $1,400, $1,500 maybe, something like that. So obviously, if you didn't have the bagger, you'd save that money. But if you're going to mulch, you're going to need special mulching blades. They're not going to be $1,500, but they're not going to be $0. So it is going to account for some of that money, but you're still going to save quite a bit of money, I think, by not having the bagging system. And again, it's going to be personal preference on your part, but I personally like having the bagger for the reasons I mentioned in today's video. Hope you found something worthwhile out of this video. If you like this content, the Ariens, let me know. And also, please consider checking out some of the other Ariens videos that I'm going to link in the description. See you next time. For those interested in learning more about this specific bagger, including the model number, please stay tuned. So I've had a number of different people in other videos that I've done on this machine ask about the bagger. Where'd you get it? What kind of bagger is it? What model is it? All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you that information right now. So the model is an Ariens 815045. Now this is meant for the 42 and 52 inch Ariens XD models, as you can see. The weather stripping's falling off here, but it's a 2-bag system. Bags just slide out. They have 3 sides of mesh so that they can breathe easily. And then you just got your discharge hose. So it's really not too complicated of a setup. There's just a belt that goes from a pulley on top of the mowing deck to the pulley on the power bagging system. And that pulley spins the impeller inside there in the fan and helps shoot the grass more efficiently through the hose into the bagging system. Without that impeller, You know, some of the old mowing decks I've run when I was a kid on like cheaper lawn mowers, they don't have anything to help suck the grass. It's just the force from the deck. And those tubes clog pretty easily, especially with longer grass, wet grass, leaves. This, having the impeller system, the power bag, or whatever you want to call it, helps suck the grass better, more powerfully, and pushes it into there. And if you want to see for yourself what I'm talking about, check out my wet grass video, check out my fall leaf cleanup video, and you'll see it really does a pretty darn good job for the price they get for these machines.